Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the delay, but we're going to now try and do the finishing touches to our hanging organiser. I'm going to finish my bag now. I was waiting for the zip, and as you know, I think they'd gone away on holiday, and I think they must have had a bit of a backlog with their orders. But it's here now, so I'm going to finish off by doing my last pouch, and I'm going to add the zip. Okay, let's get the machine. Hopefully, yes, you can see that, can't you? So I'm going to leave a little bit overhanging, just so that we can get our zipper end on easily. Really, I'm going to put my zipper foot on as well, make it easier. So yeah, change to your zipper foot. Make sure that needle doesn't hit metal, so I've moved it over. And we're going to sew that straight onto our zip. So I'm leaving a tiny little gap. I'm almost lining up the edge of my binding here with the edge of the zipper tape. So let's leave a bit more than that. My foot control's missing. So I'm just machining right on the very edge, and what I'm doing here is keeping my zip nice and straight, and I'm actually moving my pouch as I go. So I want my needle down facility so that every time I stop, I know it's not going to move. Move it over a little bit. Stop. Move it over. Now we're on the straight run. Trim off my thread and leave a little bit extra on this side as well. Okay, here we go. Let's trim those bits off as well. Now I'm actually going to pull this other side off. It'll be much easier, but make sure that you've got your right side of the zipper pointing the right way. I'm going to start from this end, then I won't have to move my zipper foot. So a little bit overhanging off the edge, and we'll do the same on this side. Right, that's that done. So it really doesn't matter now what side that you put your zipper on. I've got these lovely little cows. Let's see if I can show you up a bit closer. It's a little cow. Okay, so at this point we should have our Velcro centered in the middle and sewn on, and I've put my tabs either side, okay, and centered those in the middle. So let's put our zip on now. I like to get my ends and folded round to the front. I'm going to trim off a little bit off this edge, because that's how I like to do it. And we're going for the bigger end here, as opposed to the one hole. We're going to the side where it's split in two. So let's start it off on this side and see if we can get everything lined up. You might have to have a couple of goes at this. I haven't actually got that in. Get up there. There we go. Okay, so to start with, it's a little bit out there, but let's see how these match up here. Might be all right. No, it's a little bit out. Can you see? I'm going to redo that. That's looking as if it might have gone the other way. That's not too bad. Let's see what it's like at the other junction. That's not too bad either. I think we'll go with that. Okay. Yep, happy with that. So I'm going to pull it just over to one side slightly, just so that I can turn it to the wrong side. Get yourself all nice and straightened up. Pull that over a little bit. Now I can see where my centre is there, because I can see my little tab. So I'm just going to line up the centre of my zip just about there. Just make sure there's no folds happening at the sides. We'll just put a couple of pins in. There we go, that looks all right. Now I'm just going to machine across the top here with a centimetre seam allowance. I'm going to change over to my other foot. Doesn't really matter what side. I've got a stitch length of 3 and a bit, 3.5, something like that. You might want to go forward and backwards a little bit over your zipper area just to reinforce. Yeah, let's cut that excess zipper tape off now. Over to the other side, and we'll do exactly the same. Slightly different because we haven't got our, let me do it from this side. We haven't got our zipper, our glider on, so we have to sort of hold this in place. Couple of pins. Just to hold it. Okay, let's machine that. Forwards and back. bit of reinforcement. Oh, might have gone a bit big then. Never mind. Make sure we've got everything in. Get rid of all your dangly bits. Okay, so next, what we have to do now with all 4 of our pouches, once we've got to this stage, to hide all those raw ends on the edge there, we're going to do a little bit of binding. This can be ready-made, or in my case, I've used the same lining as I've used on my pouch. So I've actually cut this bigger than I actually need. So what have I cut? Put some measurements on here. So 7 centimeters wide, approximately, by 18. And I know I'm going to have to cut this down because it's much too long. You can see I've cut it longer than it needs to be. So what I thought I would do is just hold it against my work like that. Leave a bit of overhang in that end and a little bit this end. I'm going to cut it there. Once you're happy with the size, then go ahead and cut all, well, you'll need 2 per pouch, so you can cut all 8 pieces then. I'm going to fold this right sides together. I'm going to machine there, and my thinking is I'll have a little sort of pouch that will just slide on in place. That will make sense in a moment. So right sides to right sides. Let me get my width right. Okay, so this is what we've got now. I'm going to turn the right side out. So I've neatened both ends now, if you can see. Give them a poke out. You could probably let's trim that a bit more so that we haven't got so much bulk in there. Poke that out. Now there's my pouch, and I'm just going to slide that on and machine it across. As best you can. A couple of pins or clips. As normal, I've lost my clips. Okay, I'm just going to machine across, and then you're going to do that to all 8 ends of your pouches, all right? There we go. All right. You're not going to see this. It's going to be right at the very ends, tucked in. It's not going to show. All right. So once you've done that, do all 8. Finish off all 4 pouches, and then we're ready to do the main body of the bag. So here's my, let me move my machine out of the way. Give me a second. Okay, right. Now this isn't to size, but I've just done a little mock-up because I've already sort of finished my main part of the bag. So this is my little mock-up here. And what you're going to do is place your foam down first, then your right side of the fabric facing up on top, and then the right side of your lining facing towards the right side of your main fabric. So we made a little sandwich here. So foam, main fabric, lining, and make sure that you've got a good margin around your finished size. This line that you can see here is the finished size of my main body of the hanging organizer. Okay, so this is actually 73 centimeters long, and in my case 32 centimeters wide. Now your pouches are slightly smaller, so you'll have to adjust this. Yours could be almost 29 centimeters, I'm thinking approximately, but do measure your pouch. If you want an extra centimeter either side of your pouch, then allow for that. All right, so I've machined round. I've left an opening here and here, and that's where we're going to turn it through. So let me just take my pins out, because we're going to cut this down and leave a centimetre margin all around that main sewn area. So let me get my ruler. Roughly about a centimetre. I'm going with that line here, and I'm going to trim that down. Pressing hard. There's always a bit that doesn't go through, isn't there? Turn it round. Oh, that was good. That edge. And that edge. So there we are. That's that done. So we're going to open it up, and as you can see, we're looking down, we can find, we want to get between the main fabric and the lining and turn that all inside out. Now there is a little trick that you can use to keep these corners nice and square. So if you were to fold one end, one side down like that and the other like that, you can actually put your fingers, get your fingers in the right place, in between the lining in there. So if you have your thumb inside holding it together and your forefinger here, you can actually flip that through, and can you see it's kept that nice corner. A little bit tricky as you do the furthest one, so let's see if we can do it. So get right in there. I've got my thumb holding it in the inside and my finger on the outside, and flip it. And it will stay until you get to the other side. Right, before we turn this totally through, fold that down, hold it. My thumb's already inside, and flick that through. Now we've got one more to do. It's not that one, it's this one here. Find it on the inside. Fold and fold. And flip to the other side. Right, let's have a look how badly we did. That's not too bad. Now it's all a bit puffy, but give it a good press and that will lie perfectly nice and flat, okay? And once you've got your machine stitching around your border, that will sit and lie lovely. Let's put that to one side and go to the one that I've nearly completed. So there's my right side, and you can see all these lines that are machined through. The back is going to look like this. What we're going to do now is your open side is actually going to be the top where my pin is there. I haven't decided on what my hanging solution is going to be. So we're going to measure up. The first thing we're going to do is machine this border all the way around. Can you see that? That shows up a bit better, doesn't it? So I've done slightly bigger than 1 centimetre. So that centimetre extra of foam and everything that we turn through has made a nice little puffy edge, which I think it gives it quite a nice little look actually. So this is more like 1.5 centimetres. So find a reference point on your machine and use your foot as a guide and machine starting at the top. If you can see, I've left that totally open until I can finish that afterwards. I haven't decided on my hanging. So I've started at one side and machined all the way down the length, across the width and back up the other side, okay, for starters. Then we're going to machine some more lines. So 6 centimetres up from the bottom edge. That's from the outside edge, not the new line that you've just done. 6 centimetres. You're going to machine another line through inside that margin, okay? I didn't go right to the very outside edge. So that's 6 centimetres. And then my spacing's going up. We're going to do 4 sets of 13 centimetres. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you've got your friction pen and draw your lines that you can then machine over as a guide. Or you can use your chalk. That's up to you. So 13 centimetres, 13 centimetres, 4 times, and then whatever's at the top is fine. Mine, I had about 15 centimetres left at the top, and that's going to be the wrap over when your bag closes. The next thing to do is put your Velcro, and I've just centered these in each of those 13 centimetre blocks, okay? So now next thing to do is decide, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to wait, because I wanted all 4 pouches finished so I could get an idea of when my pouches are full, how it's going to close. And well, I didn't think I could finish it off until I've done all 4 pouches. So I've done that now. Let's put them all into place. I've filled most of them up apart from this last one that I've just finished with you. Let's turn it inside out and fill it with rubbish. Lynn Waterman's finished her pouch and she's used Velcro for her closure. So let's have a look, see what options we've got. What can I fill that with? There's number 3. That's 3 together. Let me see what I can put in this. I've got a bag of bits there. Bag of zips, rubbish. Anything to fill it out a little bit, that'll do. Right, so there's number 4. Okay, so here's our 6 centimetres that we left at the bottom. Let's see how it folds up. So that's going to go on top of that. That's going to fold round like that. And then this, we can see head on. It's going to look like that. I want to make sure that I can close it nicely, even if it's absolutely jam-packed full. So what we can do here, apart from a hanging hook or whatever a loop or whatever you want to do here, I think what I'm going to do is put some Velcro. I'm going to put a little strip here and a strip of Velcro here, so that can hold that there. Just turn that to the side, because I think I'm going to have this as my top, which is actually the very first strip of 13 centimeters is on the top. So I'm going to put a handle here, and I've already cut it to size. So if you want to do what I've done, let me see that. I've cut some fabric 14 centimeters wide, or 5.5 inches, by 26 centimeters long, which is 10 inches. And I've folded it in half and then in half again. And then, well, I've just used a strip of interfacing on one side, but you could do the whole thing if you wanted a little bit stiffer. I might do that because it's not as sturdy as I wanted it to be. It's a bit floppy. So yes, I would recommend that you do the whole thing, interface it. Use some iron-on interfacing, and it'll give it make it nice and sturdy. And all I'm going to do here is fold into the centre. Then I'm going to do right sides together, a little bit like we did the binding to finish off the pouches. Machine each end. Flick it out to the right side, because we want nice finish ends for our handle. I might do some extra stitching like we did for the JuMo backpack straps, which I thought looked really nice. And then I might machine a little box with a cross for that handle. So just make sure it's sort of sticking up a little bit. Position it. It's near enough right over the first lot of Velcro. Can you see that indent where my stitching was to sew the Velcro on? I'm going to line that up either side and centralise it. And there's our our handle. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have. I think these are going to be brilliant. I'm probably going to use mine mainly for my workroom, I think. I mean, I did think initially it could be something to go on holiday with, but I don't have that much toiletries, to be honest. Okay, I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be the shorts. See you soon. Bye.